Hello everyone, Tina here. Welcome to Card Making Fundamentals and welcome to the Ahoy There Classroom. It's kind of hard to say, but I'm super excited you're here. Today we're going to create with lesson number 2. My name's Tina Smith for those of you who are new, and I'll be your instructor. Today we're going to create a kind of a lifesaver card with a sentiment that says my hero. So I think it's going to be great for Dad's Day that's around the corner. We are going to jump in and go over the supplies that we're going to need to create with the classroom this month. Very basic supplies. You're going to need scissors, you're going to need glue, and I was going to say ink, but this comes in the kit, so you won't need that. Well, we're going to use it, but you won't need it. But you will need an acrylic block to mount your sentiment on, or if you have a stamping positioner, you're going to need that. And that's it. So pretty basic supplies. Let's go ahead and jump in. And we're going to start by creating our card base. So we'll take one of our card bases out of our pack. If you guys want to go ahead and pre-score your card bases, or they're already pre-scored, you can see here. If you want to fold it and reinforce that score line ahead of time, you guys can. But I'm just going to go over it. And our card base is ready to go. We're going to go ahead and take our lesson number 2 out of our package. And we're going to empty the contents out onto our desk here. And keep your bag, because the bag you could use for your finished product. We are going to start by creating our lifesaver, which I included an extra one because I think these are so fun to create. So to create a lifesaver, it's going to be very easy. You're going to need these 2 pieces, and then we will put the rest aside for now. We're also going to need some elements in our little embellishment pack. We're going to just take your baker's twine that's in there. Now, to create your lifesaver, it is so easy. We have this red piece, and then we have the white piece. You want to use your glue and line up the white piece to where it's centered on these tabs, basically like this. You don't want to put these little squares on the opposite end. I think that would look kind of funny. You want to put these little square tabs on the long, not on the long end, but line them up with those large ends, like so. Let's zoom in. And so to do that, you're just going to add a little bit of glue. And I'm going to add it on all the tabs. And I'm going to add glue around the circle as well, just so it's secured there, nice and secure. And then we'll take our little white tab and add it over the red. Okay, once we have our white piece, you can see it kind of looks like a lifesaver already, but I didn't mention what you need. But if you have a pencil or a pen handy, you want to kind of reinforce, kind of curl these end pieces like so. Just go like this with your thumb, sandwich this between your thumb and the pencil or a pen, and so it kind of curls. You just kind of want to break the fibers a little bit, because this is going to be folded over and this is just going to make it a lot easier. So go over it a couple times. If you wanted to even curl it, you could. In fact, that might be better. Just breaking those fibers on these end pieces, because this is such heavyweight cardstock that if you were to bend it, it might, the fibers of the paper might break in it. It'll cause an ugly crease. So, kind of looks like a crab. Now once we have that done, we're going to go ahead and add a little dot of glue on the opposite end, on the back side of those little tabs. Hopefully my glue is not clogged. but you're going to add a little dot of glue. Oh, and I need a towel. Actually going to grab a baby wipe, because that went I just went a little crazy with the glue. Okay, let's try this again. Just little dots of glue on the inside end pieces. You can see little dots of glue. Okay, and then what we're going to do is fold these over, kind of loop it over until you're almost to the end of the red. You don't want to go all the way to the red. You just want to go almost always. Hopefully it's not blurry. I'm going to do this one too. Maybe it's easier to see. And then hold it down so that glue adheres. They might fold, and if they fold, that's okay. But ideally, you want it to be a loop. Loops are prettier, I think. You can see there. See how it kind of loops over? And we'll do the same with the others. Hold it down just so that glue grabs. You see, do the same to our last one. You can see it's kind of looped still. That may take a little time to dry. So we're going to set this aside and just let this dry. If you want to do your second one right now, you could, but we only need one lifesaver for our project today. I just gave you an extra one in case you wanted to play with another card. Okay, let that dry. That has to make sure it's dried really good. It might want to lift up. So if it lifts up, you want to just make sure you can tack that down. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and take our pattern paper, which is the red. Kind of looks like a Target pattern paper, like the store. We're going to use our tape runner, and we're going to adhere our pattern paper to our card base. This is going to leave a little bit of a border. This is going to leave more of a border than our last card. It's about 1/4 of an inch. So you want to make sure it's centered. Once our pattern paper is adhered, we're going to work on our sentiment. You have a piece of white cardstock. You want to make sure that your rounded corners are on the bottom of this one. We're going to start by taking this pattern paper with the kind of chain link, flip this around. I'm going to use glue, but if you want to use your tape runner, you very well could. We're going to add some glue to the back, and then this is going to go on the very top. And I'm letting it overhang on the left and right. We're going to end up trimming that off. But if you want to evenly space the pattern, the glue will give you a little bit of time to do that. Sometimes it's more pleasing when the pattern, like you can see, I use the 2 circles as a guide. So we're going to use our scissors and trim off the excess. And, well, I didn't center that too well. This one has a circle on the end, but it's close enough. Now we're going to stamp our sentiment. So we're going to need our ink, and we're going to need our stamp set. For this card, we are going to stamp My Hero. I think this is great for Father's Day, or just give to a gentleman in your life that, or it could be for anyone really. I guess a hero can be anybody. I don't know why I associated hero with a man, but it could be anybody. we're going to line up the my first, and you want it to be, you want enough room first for your sentiment here, your lifesaver. So we're going to lower it. You want your my to be about 1/2 inch off from the bottom. Let's see here. Make sure it's straight, and then once you're happy, you kind of get an eyeball of it, you can pick it up with your acrylic block, and then you'll ink up your sentiment with your ink. And again, it says it's black, but I think this is very like a navy blue. What do you think? And then we're going to stamp this towards the bottom on our panel, and it just stamps lovely. We're going to clean off our my sentiment. And I have inky fingers. And then we're going to take our hero and we'll stamp that. I have burlap on my hero. You want to make sure there's no threads. Okay, then we're going to ink up our hero. And we're going to stamp this to where the H is over the curvy part here. Like so. And I think that looks wonderful. We'll go ahead and put our stamp back so we don't lose it. Now before we continue with our lifesaver, we are going to go in our embellishment bag. Let's just take everything out. And there is some blue and white twine, or blue and white ribbon. You don't need that long of a piece. I'm going to trim it. I'll just put the rest in my bag because we don't need the rest of it. Okay. I'm going to add a little thin bead of glue along the top here, right along the seam of your pattern paper when it hits the cardstock. And we're going to glue down our ribbon just below it like this, covering that seam. And then we're going to flip it around, and then we can take our tape runner, add some adhesive to the left and right, and then we'll just flip over our ribbon on the back side. And then that one is good to go for now. After we have this done, we're going to take our lifesaver and our twine, and we're going to basically thread the, what you can do is take a baby wipe or a chamois and then just kind of go over the end of your twine. You can even use a little bit of glue, guys. Put a little bit of glue on the end and then kind of roll it to where it's more of a sharp point on your thread, and you're basically going to thread your twine through your lifesaver like this. Through one, pull it through quite a bit, go through two, kind of keep it a little bit loose, and then you go through number 3 loop, and then keep it kind of loose, and then you can go through number 4 loop. Now once you have it, isn't that so cute? You made that. I just love making my own embellishments. Now, once you're happy with the amount of space on your thread, I think that's about how much I want. So I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot this way. Instead of doubling it over, I'm just going to tie a knot this way. Okay. I'm going to trim off the excess, and our lifesaver is done. So cute. Okay, we're going to flip this lifesaver around, and I'm going to add some, we have some foam squares that'll fit perfectly behind here. I'm going to put them not on our little tabs we created. I'm going to put them in between. And you should have one left, and you're going to need that last one for a heart. So if you want to take that last one and put it on one of your silver hearts, we can go ahead and do that. Lovely. Now we're going to remove the release paper off of our lifesaver. And then we can add this to our card. I'm going to add it to where instead of it, the little squares here are up and down. I want them at a diagonal, like we're making it, like they're at a crisscross. Your knot should be on the, I don't mind the knot being on this side here. And we're going to center it on our panel and just tack that down. We can kind of adjust our lifesaver there. Wonderful. Now we're going to take our heart, we'll remove the release paper, and we'll add this to the center of our lifesaver. I have little dents in my heart. This one is better. But there is our heart in the center of our lifesaver. I'm going to put our extra, we have an extra heart here I'm going to put back. Okay, now in our little embellishment bag we have 2 banners on some paper clips. What we're going to do is take our scissors, and we are going to go about 1/2 of an inch from the end of our, about 1/2 an inch from the end of our paper clip, and trim it off. And then these are going to go small side on front. These are going to go hanging over on the very bottom of our little panel here. And we'll do the same with this one. We're just going to fishtail the end about 1/2 of an inch. Like so. And I have one longer end than the other, so I'm going to fix that better. And again, there's a longer end of the paper clip, and then there's a smaller end. We're going to put the smaller end right in front on our panel here. Just kind of evenly space them. I might have to trim this a little bit more. We'll see. I just don't want this overhanging on my card base. I'm going to go ahead and flip this. Well, let's go ahead and trim it. Let's trim it down to the same size. I think that's going to be aesthetically more pleasing. Better. Okay. Let's flip this over. We have our foam circles that came in our kit. We're going to add 5 of these to the back of our panel. Actually, stop. Don't do that. Before we go any further, I have this piece of striped paper. I'm going to add adhesive with my tape runner on not the rounded corner side, but I'm going to do it on the straight edge side. And then we're going to flip it over to where the rounded corners are over here. And I want about 1/2 of an inch overhanging. No, let's go about 1/4 of an inch overhanging. You might want to flip it around. Let's flip it around here. Put this down here. I say about 1/4 of an inch in between the top white area here and then from the bottom curve. I think that looks prettier. I need another some foam tape here. Adhesive. I think that is good. We'll tack that down. I didn't get it very straight. I'm going to adjust it. Okay. So now we have our stripes here, and then our paper clips are over here. You can kind of line those up, and then we can flip it around and add our foam circles. I like to go over my ribbon just to help secure it, and then we'll put one over here. I don't want to put it over a paper clip because I'm afraid it might be bulky, but so I'm going to go pretty close to it. Maybe one in the center and one over here. Maybe six circles will work out great. And then we're going to go ahead and remove our release paper. We can flip this around. This is going to go on our card base right in the center. Kind of even spacing here to here. And I think that's going to work out great. And then that will finish off. Let's clean up our mess here. Then that will finish off our lesson number 2. I think it turned out really nice. And then again, I say this is a masculine, but my hero in a card, I guess, could be very versatile. It doesn't have to be masculine. But I'm going to put my heart and my ribbon back in my embellishment bag. And then we have our packaging. This is how we can store our card. Like so, and it fits lovely. And then your card is finished. And then you have an extra lifesaver, and you should have enough twine or baker's twine to do another one. Lifesaver. I think this will be really fun. I think my hero goes really good with the lifesaver, and I thought that was a cute card. But thank you for joining me this week. I will see you next Friday. For lesson number 3. I hope you're enjoying the classroom. If you are, I love to hear your comments. Just leave them down below. I may not respond to all the comments, guys, but I do read them, and I appreciate them too. But have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next Friday.